Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon by talking about something Disney related. Whether it's their movies, theme parks, programs, documentaries, whatever, TV shows, I guess, whatever. And I guess for this time around, I'll give you more of an idea of what I'm referring to. It's like this article that was published where this South Asian Netflix star wants to be Rapunzel herself in a live action Rapunzel kind of a thing. Which, what? And before I put any disclaimer, I know there's going to be some morons going to take what I'm saying out of context. Of course, I don't mind diversity in a Disney princess movie. That's all fine and dandy. Of course, you're gonna have. It doesn't matter at the end of the day what nationality the character is from, as long as you know you have a good story, great characters, great dialogue, and all that jazz. All the ingredients that makes a great, fantastic story. You're gonna have a diversity. I'm all for it. Just putting out, just in case some dumbass wants to claim out, oh, I'm just being racist, apparently, or whatever. But anyway, but what I take an issue with is that race swapping. You don't need to race swap a character. And this reminds me of a coloring book, and to some extent, you're just grabbing that character from the coloring book. Yes, there are Tangled coloring books out there. You're just grabbing one of those and just painting the character a different color, whether it's this or that or whatever. Which just cheapens the entire thing anyway. It just comes off you just tracing it. Character Rapunzel, and I know she has her own made-up kingdom or whatever, but technically speaking, if we get down to it, she's actually German. Yeah, believe me or not, she's from Germany. It's based on a German folktale. She's German, and I do find it kind of odd. Don't you think that they always seem to race swap the light-skinned characters and whatnot? And so yeah, don't you think this is kind of productive? Which it is when you think about it. So yeah, you're trying to come off like the Asian people, whether they're Japanese, Chinese, Korean, or whatever else, don't you think their heritage is not strong enough to to carry their own story? That's a bit insulting both parties when you think about it. The Asians and the whoever else is light skinned, I guess the Germans in this case. So yeah, it's pretty much disrespectful for everybody to do that. And yet, everybody wants to get mad at the video game Dragon Age Inquisition for apparently whitewashing. You massive, massive hypocrites. So yeah, just did anybody rush to defend that game when it was banned permanently in India for having the LGBT themed stuff in the story, depending on what type of character you would select from? Yeah, I thought not. Again, also very hypocritical. Or at the very least, it was actually threatened to be permanent banned at the very least. But even then, did anybody go on and try to defend it? Absolutely not. So what the hell? Eminem was accused of stealing music from black people, which of course is a total complete lie. I didn't see anybody trying to say anything about that, like whatsoever. So yeah, it just comes off like people just want to pick and choose of what they want to put in or whatever. And yes, before anyone says anything, I do realize a lot of people have been watching a lot of the live action remakes when it comes to princess films anyway. Yes, I've seen every single live action reboot of the Disney princesses, and they're all terrible. Every single one of them. Oh boy. I never liked reboots to begin with, if I'm gonna be honest here. And because, like the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm sticking by that. So yeah, can't change my mind. So yeah, just come to think, but why should I just invest my time into these stories if the next installment is just going to start from scratch, just start all over again? Just comes off like a huge waste of time. I'm not going to invest in these characters if the other one's going to be like whole new thing and whatnot. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's really stupid. Why can't you just create a brand new story. He's going to go in that regard, in that route and whatnot, or whatever. I mean, yes, okay, we are living in a more accepting times nowadays. That's fantastic. There's absolutely no shame in accepting others, despite being different in one way or another. That's great. We also get along. We also be together and whatnot. But yeah, it seems ridiculous. I mean, there's nothing that's been confirmed. There's nothing that's set in stone. At the very least, in the timing of this recording, this video, there's nothing that's been. Oh yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do that. I mean, there's been rumors around, flown around anyway, for wanting to do a live action remake of Rapunzel and a sequel to the animated movie. A movie sequel, I mean, was planned, but they ditched that idea in the last minute. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, really. I mean, they made a TV series of Rapunzel. I guess there was that. Yeah, like I said, there was a TV series of Tangled, which I honestly didn't care for really, because in some ways I felt like it wasn't needed. You think about it, because what can you possibly do more with the character? Yeah, just make your own stories, your own characters and whatnot. So let's take the character of Bruce Lee's character into the dragon, and let's turn his character into a Dutch character, which seems kind of lazy when you think about it. Or Blade's character in the Blade films, and turn him into a Middle Eastern. And yeah, that also doesn't make a whole lot of sense, like at all. And let's see another one, the Godfather trilogy, or maybe just the first one. Remake that one, and just have every character be from Brazil or something. So that's just what. And there was actually a petition for a good while to turn the character of the Joker into a homosexual. I mean, a psychopath. I mean, really, you want a psychopath to be a symbol of the LGBT? That doesn't make any sense. I'm talking about you can't turn gay just to clear things up. But a crazy person of all people? I mean, really? Again, don't take this the wrong way. I'm all for capitalism. I'm all for everybody making money off of movies, TV shows, comic books, video games, or anything else you can think of. That's fine. A capitalist system should be working for everybody. Yes, you can use this system as a way to combat racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, or whatever else ism or phobia you can think of. You get the idea here. You can actually use this as a way to combat bigotry. I'm all for that. Okay, so diversity with a good story. But like I said, just make your own original character, make your own original uh, stories and whatnot. I mean, okay, sure, the princess movies aren't exactly original in the sense that they're based on some works that were previously done, or loosely based on works. But that doesn't excuse any amount of laziness, is what I'm saying here. You still can create a new story and whatnot. And that's why Disney seems to be remaking everything. They ran out those, what do you call those books? The Grim Reapers, or whatever they call them, Grim Reapers, fairy tales, what do you call those? They ran out. So they basically want to reboot every little thing that's popular. I mean, Pinocchio is said to be. I know I spoke about that a good while ago, and the whole race swapping thing is another subject matter I've spoken about quite a while ago, along with the homosexual. I guess you can say you can call it sexuality swapping. I guess these kind of topics are what I've spoken about before, and I guess you can say I'm going to use this as a way to get more detail into it. I guess because it's ridiculous when you think about it. Come on, Dragon Age Inquisition is one of those games that does have diversity. It never explicitly says what your sexual orientation is because it's up to you, the player, to pick certain characters and whatnot. So it's leaving up to you to decide. And yes, like I just mentioned, yes, it does have diversity, but it's never for its own sake. It shows that, yes, characters from different backgrounds can actually get together and work together, set aside the differences, and fight against the bigger threat. And that's perfectly fine. They all have their own set of skills. They all are part of different branches of society. And yeah, this kind of thing actually works for the story because again, it's not there just for its own sake. You can apply this to film. You can have diversity, but let there be more to these characters than just what they are and where they came from and whatnot. You can tie it in together for a big story, sure. Have some grand adventure. The princess movies are known for their singing and also they're known for having some grand adventure anyway. You want to tie all that together in one way or another, sure, be my guest. That's fine. If you make it work, okay. Have an interesting outcome, have a crazy, wild journey that the characters must embark. Yeah, go ahead. That'd be cool if you can create something creative. Film is a medium that's been around for a good while. Okay, it's fairly young. Okay, this is something I also mentioned before, so I'll just keep this part short. Film itself has been around. It's not very long, at least compared to like paintings, drawings, books, writing in general. So compared to that kind of thing, film is relatively young. It's like a baby, so to speak. It's like a child, I guess. And video games are like the infant, I guess you can say. Video games and movies have not been around. In regards of the artistic medium, I guess you can say. Video games and movies have not been around that long. They're like the little kids, and the video games is the infant, I guess you can say. There's still a lot of room to improve. So, and yeah, and sometimes it shows, because trust me, folks, I've seen a lot of bad movies. Oh boy, and Everest have played a lot of bad video games. So there's definitely, like I just said, a lot of room to improve. I mean, to me, a lot of room to improve. Oh boy. So you can take this as an opportunity to do so, is what I'm saying. So yeah, just think about that. So yeah, you can take this as I mean, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge, sure, but hey, that's fine. Anything that's worthwhile is, of course, gonna be a challenge. Batman Begins, in a lot of ways, changed the structure of how you can tell the story. By which I mean, the film actually starts off in the second act of the movie. In the project of the second act, you see bits of the first act until you get to the grand finale, of course. So you deconstruct and reconstruct a story and how and in the way you can tell it, of course. Which way you can tell it, as long as it makes sense. I guess you can say. So you can do the same thing. You can experiment in a bunch of ways to construct the structure and whatnot. So yeah. Seems like an endless amount of possibilities. There's some movies that just start off at the end. Grave of the Fireflies start at the end, but then you work yourself downward, I guess you can say. And another movie that challenges the structure is Inception, and in the way you can tell it, you can say. There's no clear ending, really, when you think about it. And another one that kind of did the same thing. Well, yeah, this movie, they kind of went, back and forth when it comes to different sequences and whatnot. And there's been plenty of experimental films even way back when. So yeah, it's not like this hasn't been done before. There's plenty of experimental type of movies that's been done multiple times. I'm not gonna include every single one because it's gonna take a good while, of course. But there's plenty of these, and I'm doing plenty. The challenge in the filmmaking when it comes to story and the editing and you name it, and how you can do it and whatnot. So what I'm saying is that you could apply the same thing here with these princess movies. Yeah, do like a multiverse kind of a thing if you want. Yeah, find a way to make sense out of it, I guess, if you can, I suppose. And let me see here. Oh yeah. There's the whole thing with since a lot of people are really enjoying superhero stuff as of late, DC is known for doing the whole multiverse thing. So they've done that in the comics quite a few times over the years. I'm still doing it to this very day. So what I'm thinking here, why can't you apply that to the princess movies? I mean, as long as it's a good story and whatnot, great characters and great dialogue, I don't say why not. It could work, depending on how it's done. So, I mean, yes, there's been, princess movies that did try to have more, different ideas or whatever you can call it. One of which is The Last Dragon, which I mentioned before. I didn't like it really. I thought it was kind of a bad movie, but kind of okay, I guess. And some of the reasons why I didn't like how the way it was done. Really, it felt a lot of it forced. In a lot of ways, it didn't feel genuine. Yes, like I said, I'm all for capitalism and whatnot. I'm all for people trying to make money their way, and you can use the system as a way to counter capitalism, counter bigotry that's in the capitalist system. Well, these people misusing it anyway. You can use that as a way to confront it. I guess you can say, which is fine. So there's that, obviously. So yeah, you can actually use it in many ways to benefit yourself, of course, and to fight against morons. Exploit a lot of stuff, which unfortunately still happens to this very day, even in America. But at least on the bright side, you do have your own. You can create your own platform to fight against that. So, well, that's something. That can be a good thing right there. So instead of just remaking every little thing, why can't you just make your own original story? And I mean, Disney had re-released a lot of their own original films in theaters and on DVD, home video or digital download. And you can actually see a lot of the old princess movies and their streaming services on Disney Plus anyway. Multiple re-releases in theaters, multiple re-releases on home video, and you can actually see these movies in Disney Plus, their streaming services. So it's not like those movies are going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, that's something to think about, obviously. So yeah, so it's something take this as a way to be creative. That's what I'm saying. Why can't you just use the same resources to reboot it to create something more different, be more creative? I mean, I'm not trying to say to abolish the whole princess trope. But you can use it in various ways. Is what I'm saying. Vote with your daughter, I guess you can say. In other words, so power to the people. No, let's go have capitalism, of course. I know this seems oddly specific, but I keep bringing that up. But a lot of people are under the wrong assumption that if you're fine with capitalism, you're racist, which is which is pretty moronic when you think about it. But okay. And to be more exact here, a lot of people assume that Walt Disney himself is anti-Semitic and hated black people, which of course is a complete lie. He was also accused of being sexist as well, which is another reason to keep rebooting everything. And also, even if that was the case, just take your business elsewhere because in America, nobody is saying you have to shop it in one spot. No one's making you to do that. And if someone's trying to make you, you'd actually have a lawsuit and stuff because you have that legal right to do that. Making sense. That doesn't exist, right? There's more than one burger joint, like Wendy's, which is a personal favorite of mine. And then there was, also, yeah, Burger King, Jack in the Box, McDonald's, just to name a few. And if you're not too happy with Starbucks, well, there's Pete's Coffee. You know, there's more. If you're not too happy with the taxis, well, there's Uber. If there's not, if you're not too happy with Uber, well, just find there's Leaf, or what do you want to call that one thing. There's multiple choices. Is what I'm getting at. So yeah, a lot of people just not making sense. So I just, like I said, I should just wrap things up already. Speaking of that kind of a thing, there's also Xbox, PlayStation, or even Nintendo. Well, there you go. If you don't want one of those, well, there's PC. So yeah, there's more than one option, folks. Is what I'm getting at. So vote with your daughter, and just that kind of thing. Just think about it, of course. Nothing wrong with competition. There's absolutely nothing wrong with competition as long as you keep it in a healthy way, of course. Obviously, as long as it's kept in a healthy kind of way, obviously. But yeah, that's business. And I hate to break it to you, the film industry is a business. It can be rather vicious at times when you think about it. So but yeah, I know just like point out the obvious, but oh boy, folks, a lot of people aren't aware that hello, it's a business. You do have to compete. You do have to stand out from the crowd. And that's another thing I was saying a moment ago is why Disney keeps remaking the movies because one reason is that I mean I'm not excusing it, but they keep being accused of being racist, sexist, especially with the princess movies. and they're trying to, with the remakes, they're trying to fix up a non-existing problem, and people trying to use this as a way to combat that, which is moronic when you think about it. But he's already dead. Contrary to popular belief, he's not frozen. The dude can't even defend himself. And this is backwards when you think about it, because yes, I'm fine with diversity, but this is not how you do it, like at all, whatsoever. I'm fine with trying to be creative, but I mean, okay, aside from the fact I don't like remakes, I don't like reboots, reimagined, redone, redid, however you want to word that. It's all the same as far as I'm concerned. I don't like remakes. I really don't. But yeah, just like taking 2 steps forward and like 25 steps backward. Frozen 2 isn't based upon any books. It has its own original story, so I can use that as an example. It didn't pull from any sources, like any novels, short stories, or poems, whatever. In that route, I mean, it does have diversity, that too. Despite the fact that a lot of people uh, accuse these movies for having some sort of racism, a part of it, which of course is a lie. It kind of reminds me of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, where a lot of people felt that it's gone woke or whatever, which of course is moronic. And say character raised on Mary Sue was, of course, it's a lie. They had a strong female character, and people complained about it. Oh boy. And when at Disney again, and then when I just said the whole Frozen bit, when Disney has different class of people, people still complained in one way or another. Oh, come on, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, it's just one of those cases like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. As far as I'm concerned, that's how I took it anyway. But yeah, like I said, folks, I should just wrap things up already, because this video has been pretty lengthy as it is. So I do appreciate, anybody just hearing me ramble about something I felt to be incredibly stupid. But yeah, just wow, people. I mean, really. Anyway, it just comes off like people are bored, like they have nothing else to do, like whatsoever, like at all. Anyway, just whatever, whatever, whatever. As always, thanks for watching, and take care. Till next time, see ya. Oh yeah. Later.